Hey everyone, as promised, bringing you some new knowledge, improving your comprehension of who's running the show, and by the way, this time even trying to make the entire world a bit better. Now, please hit the pause and read the disclaimer. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible, so I'm not gonna waste time on it. For centuries, science conflicted key religious concepts such as God, devil, heaven, and hell. Scientists didn't even bother to try and interpret religious terms from unexpected angles. Still don't. These days, we share memes like this. Religion. Taught to young children. Told to believe on faith. Discouraged from doubting. Threatened with hell if they don't believe. Science. Taught to young adults. Told to rely on evidence. Encouraged to doubt. May get a Nobel Prize if they find an error. One road to indoctrination, one road to knowledge. The result? Most of the educated people, including decision makers, live their lives assuming God doesn't exist, nobody's watching them. Therefore, there's no one to bless or punish them. They think they've only got their earth life, the one and only. No way they might end up in either what religions called heaven or hell. While trying to outsmart church, science greatly reduced one of the most critical layers of human responsibility, to the Creator. Let's be honest, in terms of humane values, science served humanity a big disservice, hopefully up until now. So, science backs religions now? It does, at least for key religious concepts. The idea comes from core principles of quantum mechanics and is backed by math, classical physics, and biology. It is so obvious I'm surprised it's not in the mainstream culture yet, but the multiverse is. This is an ongoing research and I can only uncover about 1% of the data at this point. Some building blocks of the idea were explained in my video 5 years ago. Here's a brief summary in simple words. Quantum mechanics introduced a number of fancy terms such as superposition principle, wave function collapse, quantum entanglement, etc. Yet it is so weird and complex, even its founders couldn't comprehend and properly interpret much. So it is still up for interpretations and multiverse is one of them. Leon Rosenfeld, one of the Niels Bohr's devotees, called whoever the author of the many worlds interpretation indescribably stupid and said he couldn't understand the simplest things in quantum mechanics. Yet silly filmmakers made it mainstream. In fact, all you need to know is Schrödinger's cat experiment officially remains an unsolved mystery in physics, yet it does very well illustrate the main point of quantum environment. There is no time running. Imagine a point in time when a certain cat was alive and a point when it was dead, and the superposition of both states is only possible if we remove the time factor. Superposition does not reflect a multiverse with infinite amount of varied worlds. Instead, it features the same universe at different points in time. So my interpretation is, since quantum mechanics states that subatomic particles introduce superposition and have no mass, then particles are in fact packets of information about matter-energy state at all points of time in the universe. They shape the universal database of macro-reality state log from the beginning till the end of times. Quantum level embodies a machine that runs macro-reality as we perceive it by processing the universal database. Two non-essential outcomes. Determinism. I'm not going to expand on that any further than I did in my quantum computing video. Everything is predetermined with a single ultra-complex chain of events. I believe every smart person has to realize that. No time travel. The universal database is read-only, its integrity is absolute. Both time travel and multiverse concepts are just voodoo magic for lazy content creators. With millions, if not billions, of light years ahead for the mankind to research, experiment, and get into accidents, it is 99.9% guaranteed that someday our children will bypass wave function collapse and be able to read the universal database from within our macro reality. This would then make possible studying every single detail of the past and the future of our perceived reality. Reading the DNA of every human being ever lived open many other doors we could only imagine. This assumption is the key prerequisite to the actual theory, suggesting religious concepts being applied to our perceived reality. Smarter people at this point must have figured out that the theory suggests heaven and hell are not location-based, but rather time-based terms. The most probabilistic scenario implies that hundreds or millions of years from now, the mankind will come to the golden era of technological and societal development. Our children will eventually solve all known problems, including crime, poverty, environmental issues, lifespan limits, faster-than-light space travel, etc. The complete and integral history model will be generated on the basis of the universal quantum database, and a specialized AI will generate a ranked list of all humans ever existed. Knowledge and technologies shape perception. If you go back 1,000 years ago with a sidearm and a smartphone, people of that era will most likely call you a god. Tip of the day: our descendants are gods to us. They will be able to do wonders we can't even imagine, and they will come after us. With all the knowledge about what kind of boys and girls we were, good or bad. In Fifth Element, 1997, bioengineers brought back, recreated Lilu from the remains of her hand. In the real future, people will be able to bring back ancestors by retrieving their DNA from the universal database directly. They'll find ways to either copy or transfer original life experiences as well. With unlimited lifespans, endless resources, and help of AI, people of the coming era will rather enjoy the process. It'll be a big part of their culture, news media, and entertainment industry. Some might say, too much assumptions and uncertainties. How's this even science? Well, it is called futures studies, a scientific research field just like history, but goes forward in time. Could be hard to swallow as I drop it on you like that, but please, bear with me as I spent the past 30 years considering hundreds of scenarios. All roads end up there. Obviously highest ranked on both ends of the list. Individuals will be brought back anyway. Day by day, decade by decade, they'll bring back millions of people, influencers, decision-makers, volunteers, mass murderers, war criminals, Nazi supporters, etc. Will they bring back NPCs? It's up for speculation. Colonizing space requires a lot of human resources. This might be a chance for us, average losers. So, let's interpret some key religious concepts. Heaven, paradise. The future Earth and or certain other planets with the most developed human and post-human societies. Hell, farthest space stations and colonies with terrible environments and living conditions, painful human labor, no weekends, no chance to get bailed out or die. God, a person or an algorithm in the future human society that is entitled to make the most impactful decisions. This may be a president or an overseer or a CEO or whatever title the future society will come up with. The same person or an algorithm could also be entitled to generate what we now call a Big Bang, thus creating our universe in retro-causality. But I'm going off the rails here. Could this be someone who was brought back from our era? Definitely. Could be you, could be me. Could be Jesus Christ. At least science confirms there was a real person under that name. I imagine waking up one day and there are people around me and they're like, "Father, thanks for the idea. We made it. Now, lead us." Isn't this a new science-based religion? Does it even matter? The point is to remind people afterlife is not just possible but near inevitable. And our actions in this era might affect quality of our lives in the golden era, or whatever you call it. People won't stop confusing me, although I may seem like a prophet. There's no need for another stupid church. Just help spreading my word. It's freaking 2024. Elites play these horrible games because traditional religions failed. Early stage science is to blame, but cutting-edge science and ongoing research bring back terms like justice, responsibility, and integrity to all levels of society. Is there more we should know? Yes, plenty of shocking conclusions made during decades with this research. However, I intended the Heaven-Hell video to be as brief and introductory as possible. If you want more, share and like this one, please. YouTube rather costs me money, so I can only afford putting out content once in 5 years, unless maybe someone finally donates. If this one receives good feedback, I can make a separate video on how to increase your chances to be brought back and into a better place, as I think. How to prepare and even what to better spend your time and money on. I got lots of information. Seriously, there's so much data, it'll blow your mind. Just in terms of our everyday lives, like I can explain why communism is all around us, everywhere, and we don't even notice that, and it's poisoning us. Some deep crazy stuff. Can't even make videos on that. Too risky, we'll think about it. Like, subscribe, share with all the people you know. We'll see you in the next one.